Ho 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 ho! Everybody was playoff fighting. So we were taking a look at the Vikings playoff scenarios, and let's clear that up. All right. So as of right now, with Monday night still have to play, the Colts I believe are traveling to Indianapolis or New Orleans. Yep, Colts at Saints Monday Night Football. So that obviously has some implications on the playoff picture. But if the season ended today, Packers would be the 2 seed, Saints would be a 3. Seattle is currently the 1 seed because the Niners pulled a big boner against the Falcons, and that is going to certainly cost them and makes things very interesting in the NFC going forward. So let's say, just for poops and giggles, the Saints end up beating the Colts, which they're favored to do. Doesn't really change anything here. Dallas is still hanging on there, as well as let's go over at 538. Let's reset here. We're doing some wishful thinking. All right, so the win there, the Saints still have a 59% chance at a first-round bye. Doesn't really impact the Vikings necessarily, but also notice that with the Vikings win on Sunday, as coupled with the Rams loss to the Cowboys. Thank you, Cowboys, for not screwing it up one time. The Vikings are now 97% to make the playoffs and 10% to win the division. A couple things have to go right there. 2% to get a first-round bye. A lot of things need to go right there. And we're going to cover a couple of those scenarios today. So most likely what's going to happen, Vikings end up the 6 seed, which is fine. End up going to the 3 seed, which could be the Saints, could be the Packers, could be Seattle, even could be San Francisco. So the only team we know it's not going to be a 3 seed is the Cowboys, right? Or the Eagles, or whatever. I mean, it's just so stupid. NFC East contracted. So let's go through some of these woo-woo scenarios. So first off is the Vikings. Well, let's cover the Vikings win the division. Win the division is pretty simple. Got to beat Green Bay, got to beat Chicago, and then Green Bay has to lose out, including losing to Detroit Week 17. Kyle, Jerome, Ezekiel Sluter leading things off, so the Vikings would have the NFC North there. Now, to get to the 2 seed, let's get the Vikings winning the division first. So, beating Green Bay Monday night, which is great. Vikings beat Chicago at home Week 17 against the Bears, which would be nice. So, see the Vikings slide into that 3 seed. The way they get the 2 seed is that the Saints need to win lose 2 out of their next 3. So we'll give the Saints the win Monday night over the Colts, and then we'll say that the Saints lose at Tennessee, which is not a gimme. Tennessee is extremely tough, and then say Carolina actually does something right with their life one time, and then that happens. So Minnesota ends up with a 2 seed. Now I was trying to figure out ways that the Vikings could get the 1 seed because I'm getting greedy. So say Seattle loses there, San Francisco loses to the Rams, and then Seattle ties. Oh, yeah, look at that. The Vikings actually can get the 1 seed. But if it goes either way, yeah, they go there. So that's actually pretty hilarious. So the Vikings mathematically can get the 1 seed, but their chances of getting the 2 seed pretty thin as well. So let's look at how the Vikings can actually get the 3 seed. All right. We actually went through that, but just for schnitz and giggles, beat the Bears, beat them, and then the Lions beat the Packers. So that's the easiest way for the Vikings to get the 3 seed, just win the NFC North, and that's very straightforward. Win out, Green Bay has to lose out, easy peasy. Now, let's look at a little bit more complicated things. Look how the Vikings can get the 5 seed. Now, the 5 seed would be pretty favorable in that instead of going to Green Bay, Seattle, San Francisco, New Orleans, you'd either be going to Dallas or Philly, which, much rather have that. So getting to the 5 seed, leapfrogging Seattle. Seattle ends up as the 6 seed. So it needs the Vikings to win out, and then Seattle has to lose out. So let's set that up. Vikings win out. Seattle loses out. San Francisco gets the 1 seed. Vikings win out. There you go. Oh, actually get the division there. All right, so say Green Bay beats the Lions and end up at the 5 seed. There we go. Now, let's flip that where San Francisco. All right, so say the Seahawks win the division, which is great. And then San Francisco, notice that they're currently 11-3. So San Francisco can even win one of their last 2 games if it's not against Seattle. If they can win one of the last 2 games, end up with 12-4 identical records with the Vikings, or hypothetically, they could lose out and say that the Vikings end up losing out, and then it would go down to tiebreakers. So say, I felt dirty. All right, so say the Vikings lose out, say San Francisco lose out, both are 11-5. Actually, no, that would change the calculus of the tiebreaker because the 5 seed wins based on strength of victory. So the Vikings do need to win out Muscoozy and have a game up there on the Niners. Like I said, Niners can be there. All right, so both end up winning Week 16. Vikings ended up as the 5 seed. Both of them are 12-4. And looking at the tiebreaker, comes down to best win percentage in common games because I believe that's the third tiebreaker. Second tiebreaker would have been conference record, and both teams would have been 8-4 in that respect. So that's how the Vikings can get the 5 seed the hard way, going through San Francisco. But like we said, Vikings are likely locked into the 6 seed, barring a team just completely cratering, a la Seattle, a la San Francisco, and then also, just focus on the division. Focus on winning the division. Everything else will take care of itself in its own way, and the Vikings can go from there. So focus on beating Green Bay Monday night, and then smack the living crap out of Chicago and Mitchell Trubisky Ponder one time, Week 17. And then, if Green Bay ends up losing to Detroit, Kyle Sluter does us a favor. Fine. It's great. At worst, you're in the 3 seed. At best, in all likelihood, you end up the 2 seed. And you still have that outside remote shot at winning the ones. Let's set that up again because that made me so happy. All right, what was it? Yeah, Seattle loses, San Francisco loses, and then they tie. And then the Saints lose. One time. Let's do that up. All right. If you want some more takes like this, some more fun live streams, subscribe. Come along for Daily Vikings Takes. You want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Let's give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time. Skol. Production value.